In a game that basically needs no introduction, but I'ma do it anyway, the pseudo-open world action-adventure game brought to us by the wonderful, albeit slightly inconsistent, Platinum Games Studio and the unconventional Yoko Taro essentially took the world by storm with its amazing visuals, gameplay, story, and music. So yeah, it's pretty good, 10 out of 10s, etc, etc. However, we're here to talk about the music, not so much the game. Granted, it plays a big role in the game anyway. And one last thing before we get into that, let me just thank Yoko Taro for legit introducing me to one of the most disturbing parts of my younger video game life via Drakengard. I went into the game thinking it was going to be a more gory, bloody Dynasty Warriors, but I came away from the game with a blasted existential crisis. The music of NIER Automata wonderfully conveys the kind of world it takes place in, and even without my playing it, I connected the proverbial musical dots. Still had to check out some gameplay either way, however. And what kind of world is that, you ask? One full of crippling sadness and despair. Keiichi Okabe, a veteran composer who's been in the game since '95, but concerning the NIER universe, is actually brought back on board after composing tunes for NIER Gestalt and The Replicant, along with Keigo Ohashi and Kakeru Ishihama. Kuniyuki Takahashi, however, was involved with Dragon 3, a game still related to the universe of Automata, along with a myriad of performers and vocalists. Needless to say, this team was definitely an ideal pick musically, as not only does it keep the sound consistent with earlier NIER releases, it actually builds, reinforces, and expands on it. Post-apocalyptic worlds, such as the ones found in NA, usually require a more subdued, subtle touch, as opposed to constantly hitting you across the eardrums, and man does this OST accomplish that. While in-game, there are moments that work very well due to lack of music, but when the tunes are playing, whether you're fighting a boss or running into enemies while jogging around at the speed of 2B in the desolate landscapes, the musical choices and cues work excellently. The OST's blend of ethnic instrumentation, orchestral scores, complete with entire choirs and vocalists for the various songs featured here, all serve to cement the atmosphere and just provide a pleasant musical experience overall. It should also be noted that the production quality on most of these tracks is excellent. As much as I've been singing praises about this soundtrack, nothing's perfect, and this beloved OST is no exception. Naturally, if music of this nature isn't your cup of tea, then this OST definitely isn't going to change your mind. I say that because I personally don't care much for the styling and genre of music, but I can still appreciate what it brings to the table in regards to overall immersion and atmosphere. It's an admittedly subjective point to bring up, but something I thought to bring up regardless. Needless to say, the team involved put together an excellent OST here, and while it's not a daily listener for me, like I mentioned earlier, I can definitely appreciate what the OST does overall for the game and the experience that NIER Automata provides. So what's your take on the NIER Automata soundtrack? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And what would you like to hear reviewed next? Let me know in the comments below. Take care.